The vast emptiness of space stretched before the research vessel Celestial Horizon, its sleek titanium hull reflecting the distant starlight. Captain June Park leaned forward in his command chair, his weathered hands gripping the navigation console. The ship's interior hummed with a quiet intensity, a testament to humanity's most advanced deep space exploration technology. Yuna Kim, the ship's technical specialist, monitored a series of flickering holographic displays. Her fingers danced across the quantum interface, analyzing the bizarre energy signatures that had been haunting their long-range sensors for the past 3 standard galactic cycles. Something was out there, something completely unexpected. "Captain," she called out, her voice cutting through the ambient ship sounds, "we're picking up an anomalous reading. It's different from anything in our database." Dae Kim, the quantum communications officer, adjusted his neural link interface. His eyes flickered with data streams only he could fully interpret. "The signal doesn't match any known galactic communication protocols. It's like it's breathing." The ship's interior lighting shifted subtly, matching the tension building among the crew. They weren't typical researchers. Each member had been hand-selected for their ability to think beyond conventional boundaries. The Celestial Horizon wasn't just a research vessel. It was humanity's most advanced exploration platform, equipped with technology that made most alien civilizations look primitive. Hyun Lee, the navigation expert, began plotting potential approach vectors. Her holographic display showed multiple potential trajectories, each calculated with microscopic precision. The object they were tracking defied normal spatial mechanics. It seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Sung," Captain Park called to the xenoarchaeologist, "what do you make of these readings?" Sung Park studied the data, his augmented neural implants processing information at speeds that would make most computers look sluggish. "It's not a natural phenomenon. The geometric patterns suggest intentional design, but nothing like we've ever encountered. The material composition is impossible." The ship's artificial gravity adjusted slightly, a subtle reminder of the advanced engineering that allowed humans to explore the deepest reaches of space. Outside the reinforced observation windows, stars streaked past like liquid silver, creating a mesmerizing backdrop to their potential discovery. Suddenly, the quantum communication array erupted with a burst of energy. Strange geometric patterns danced across the ship's primary screen, mathematical sequences that seemed to pulse with an almost living quality. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. "Stabilize external shields," Captain Park commanded, his voice calm but charged with anticipation. "Prepare for potential first contact protocol." Yuna's fingers flew across her console, activating a series of defensive and investigative systems. Energy shields hummed to life, creating an invisible, protective bubble around the Celestial Horizon. Quantum scanners began mapping the mysterious object's exact location and potential composition. The object, if it could be called an object, began to change. Its form was not static, not like any technology or natural phenomenon they had ever witnessed. It shifted, expanded, contracted, revealing glimpses of complex internal structures that seemed to defy the fundamental laws of physics. "It's responding to our approach," Sung whispered, a mix of scientific excitement and primal fear mixing in his voice. Dae's neural interface began picking up fragmentary signals, not words, not language, but something more profound, emotional resonances, quantum echoes of something ancient, something waiting. The crew held their collective breath. Decades of space exploration, thousands of planetary surveys, hundreds of encounters with alien civilizations, nothing had prepared them for this moment. Whatever was out there was about to change everything. The Celestial Horizon moved closer, its advanced sensors probing the mysterious phenomenon. Each millisecond brought new revelations, new questions that seemed to multiply faster than they could be answered. First contact was imminent, and humanity would never be the same. End of Part 1. The silence of space shattered like brittle glass. 3 massive warships materialized from hyperspace, their hull designs unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. The Valoran Collective's vessels were living machines, biomechanical constructs that pulsed with an alien intelligence far beyond conventional spacecraft technology. Captain June Park's muscles tensed. These weren't ordinary ships. They were sentient war machines that could think, adapt, and destroy faster than human reflexes could comprehend. "Incoming transmission," Dae Kim announced, his voice steady despite the rising tension. The communication channel crackled with a language that wasn't spoken but experienced, a complex blend of mathematical frequencies and emotional resonances. Holographic representations of the alien commanders materialized on the bridge, creatures with crystalline exoskeletons and multiple neural appendages that moved like liquid mercury. "Surrender the artifact," the lead commander projected directly into their minds. "Your species is not qualified to possess such technology." Yuna's fingers danced across her quantum interface, running rapid defensive protocols. The Celestial Horizon's advanced systems began generating multiple quantum encryption layers, creating a protective bubble that would challenge even the most sophisticated alien scanning technologies. Hyun Lee's navigation skills became their primary weapon. She understood that in space combat, movement was survival. The ship began executing impossible maneuvers, quantum spatial shifts that would tear apart conventional spacecraft. Each movement was calculated with microscopic precision, creating unpredictable flight patterns that confused the alien tracking systems. "They're attempting to lock weapons," Sung Park warned, his xenoarchaeological training providing unique insights into alien combat psychology. The Valoran ships began to change, their biomechanical structures morphing, creating weapon configurations that defied traditional understanding of combat engineering. Tentacle-like energy conduits extended from their hulls, preparing to unleash destructive capabilities that could obliterate entire planetary systems. But humanity had something they didn't expect. The artifact they were protecting began to pulse. Its internal structure started resonating with the ship's quantum field, creating a symbiotic energy signature that the aliens couldn't comprehend. It was as if the artifact was actively protecting its human carriers. "Defensive pattern Delta," Captain Park commanded. The Celestial Horizon transformed. Adaptive nano-armor plates reconfigured, creating complex geometric shields that absorbed and redirected incoming energy weapons. Each alien attack was met with a calculated response that seemed almost unintelligent. Dae's neural interface picked up something extraordinary. The artifact was communicating, not through traditional means, but through complex quantum entanglement. It was learning, adapting using the human crew's collective consciousness as a processing network. The alien commanders watched in growing frustration. Humanity wasn't just resisting, they were evolving in real-time. Quantum weapons fired, space itself seemed to ripple and distort. The Celestial Horizon moved like liquid starlight, dancing between destructive energy waves that would have obliterated any other spacecraft in existence. "They're using multi-dimensional weapon systems," Sung observed, his voice a mix of scientific fascination and strategic analysis. "But our adaptive systems are holding." Yuna's technical expertise became their ultimate defense. She was rewriting combat algorithms faster than the aliens could process, creating defensive strategies that existed in theoretical mathematical spaces most species couldn't even conceptualize. The artifact continued pulsing. Its internal structure began revealing complex geometric patterns that seemed to be mapping alternative combat strategies. It wasn't just a technological object, it was becoming an active participant in their survival. Hyun's navigation reached supernatural levels. The ship moved not just through space, but seemingly through potential realities, creating quantum uncertainty that made targeting impossible. The Valoran Collective's commanders realized something fundamental. These humans were not just survivors. They were something entirely different, something unexpected. The battlefield of space transformed into a canvas of survival and innovation. The Celestial Horizon became a phantom, unpredictable, undetectable, a nightmare for the Valoran Collective's advanced tracking systems. Hyun Lee's hands moved like a concert pianist, but instead of creating music, she was composing a symphony of spatial deception. The ship's quantum drive began generating multiple simultaneous probability streams. essentially creating ghost images of themselves across different dimensional planes. Redirecting power to adaptive camouflage, Yuna called out, her fingers, blurring across quantum interfaces. Complex holographic projections began mimicking background space radiation, making the celestial horizon blend perfectly with the cosmic environment. The alien warships fired devastating energy weapons, each blast powerful enough to shatter entire planetary systems, but instead of contact, they hit nothing but quantum illusions. Hyun had transformed their spacecraft into a living, breathing, misdirection machine. Day's neural interface picked up the alien communication channels. Their frustration was palpable, a mix of mathematical confusion and emotional turbulence. Humans weren't just resisting, they were systematically destroying the Valoran collective's strategic understanding of combat. The artifact continued its mysterious pulsing. Its internal structure seemed to be analyzing the combat scenario, feeding subtle navigational suggestions directly into Hyun's neural pathways. It was as if the device was learning, adapting, becoming a living co-pilot. Sung. Park's xenoarchaeological background provided unique insights. He began decoding the quantum communication signatures, understanding that the aliens communicated through complex mathematical and emotional frequencies rather than traditional language. "They're using predictive combat algorithms," Sung explained. "But our randomness is breaking their computational models." Captain June Park watched the tactical display, a subtle smile crossing his weathered face. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to be beautifully, wonderfully unpredictable. The ship's defensive systems weren't just blocking attacks, they were learning from them. Each alien weapon signature was instantly analyzed, its potential future variations mapped and countered before the attack could fully manifest. Yuna activated an experimental quantum disruption field. Suddenly, the alien warships found their advanced computational systems fragmenting. Navigation became impossible. Weapon systems collapsed into quantum uncertainty. "Probability field at maximum intensity," she reported, her voice calm despite the incredible technological feat she was executing. The Valoran ships began to drift. Their biomechanical structures, once precise and terrifyingly efficient, now looked like confused mechanical organisms. They had encountered something fundamentally different from any species they had ever conquered. Hyun executed a series of spatial jumps so complex that they defied traditional understanding of space-time. The celestial horizon moved not just through space but through potential realities, creating a combat dance that was part navigation, part quantum mathematics, part pure human creativity. The artifact continued its mysterious communication. Complex geometric patterns emerged on the ship's primary display, mathematical sequences that seemed to be providing strategic insights faster than any computer could calculate. Day's neural interface was becoming something more than just a communication tool. It was transforming into a living bridge between human consciousness and the artifact's mysterious intelligence. "They're preparing a final assault," Sung warned, analyzing the alien communication signatures. "But their computational models are completely broken." The Valoran commanders watched in growing horror. These humans weren't just defending themselves, they were rewriting the fundamental rules of spatial combat. Captain Park's voice remained steady. "Maintain quantum uncertainty. Protocols. Let them chase shadows, and chase shadows they did." The alien warships fired desperately, their attacks hitting nothing but quantum illusions and mathematical phantoms. Humanity had turned the battlefield into a canvas of pure, beautiful unpredictability. The resistance wasn't just unexpected. It was revolutionary. End of Part 3. The artifact's internal structure began to shift with increasing intensity. What had once appeared as a simple crystalline object now pulsed with an energy that seemed to breathe, alive, intelligent, responsive to the human crew's collective consciousness. Dae Kim's neural interface started experiencing something beyond traditional communication. Fragments of information cascaded through his mind, not as words, but as complex emotional landscapes and mathematical symphonies. The artifact was communicating, but not in any language ever understood by known civilizations. "It's responding," To our collective emotional state, Sung Park whispered, his xenoarchaeological sensors working overtime. The device seemed to be reading more than just their surface thoughts. It was diving deep into their collective human experience. Captain June Park felt something extraordinary happening. The bridge of the celestial horizon transformed subtly. Holographic displays began generating patterns that seemed to dance between mathematical precision and pure emotional expression. Each crew member's unique psychological profile was creating a complex resonance that slowly activated the device's hidden capabilities. Yuna's technical systems started registering impossible readings. The artifact wasn't just a technological object. It was a living interface that responded to the most intricate nuances of human consciousness. Quantum algorithms began forming spontaneously, creating computational models that defied everything known about technological interaction. The artifact is adapting, Hyun Lee reported, her voice a mix of scientific wonder and primal excitement. The ship's internal systems began to merge with the artifact's energy field, creating a symbiotic relationship that was both terrifying and beautiful. Geometric patterns exploded across the primary display. They weren't just visual representations, they were living mathematical languages that seemed to tell stories of civilizations long forgotten. The artifact was revealing something fundamental about the nature of consciousness itself. Day's neural connection deepened. Suddenly he could see, no, experience, multiple layers of reality simultaneously. The artifact was showing humanity's potential in ways no scientific instrument could ever measure. It wasn't just revealing information. It was demonstrating the unique capacity of human consciousness to understand, adapt, and transcend. The Velaran warships outside began to experience quantum destabilization. Their advanced tracking systems collapsed, unable to comprehend the complex interactions happening within the celestial horizon. The artifact was creating a protective field that went beyond traditional defensive technologies. It was rewriting the fundamental rules of spatial interaction. Sung's xenoarchaeological implants began decoding the artifact's internal language. It wasn't a weapon, it wasn't a technology. It was an evolutionary interface designed to recognize sentient consciousness beyond traditional technological measurements. "It's choosing," Sung muttered, his scientific mind struggling to process. What was happening? The artifact is selecting a species capable of understanding its true nature. Captain Park felt something profound happening. The artifact was testing them, not through traditional challenges, but by experiencing their collective human potential. Every emotion, every moment of creativity, every instance of unexpected problem-solving was being analyzed. The ship's internal environment began to change. Holographic representations of human achievements started manifesting. Moments of scientific breakthrough, artistic expression, acts of incredible compassion. The artifact was experiencing humanity's entire story. Yuna's technical systems reached a point of quantum synchronization. The artifact's energy field began merging with the celestial horizon's quantum drive, creating a computational model that was part technology, part consciousness, part pure potential. "We're being evaluated," Day reported, his voice distant, "not as a military threat, not as a technological civilization, but as a potential." The Valoran warships outside began to disintegrate, not through weapons, but through a complete quantum destabilization that they couldn't comprehend. The artifact was creating a protective field that went beyond traditional defensive technologies. In that moment, humanity was being measured by something far beyond human understanding, and they were passing the test. End of Part 4. The universe held its breath. The artifact erupted with an energy that defied conventional understanding of physics. Space itself seemed to ripple and fold, creating complex dimensional pathways that no known civilization had ever witnessed. The celestial horizon became the epicenter of a cosmic transformation that would rewrite galactic history. Captain June Park watched in awe as reality itself began to reconfigure. The quantum field around their ship expanded, creating a bubble of pure potential that absorbed the surrounding space. The Velaran warships didn't just disappear. They were systematically deconstructed at the molecular level, their complex biomechanical structures breaking down into pure energy. Yuna Kim's quantum interfaces went into overdrive. Her systems were no longer just monitoring, they were participating in a cosmic restructuring that defied every known law of scientific understanding. Complex mathematical sequences danced across her displays, revealing patterns of universal construction that had remained hidden since the beginning of time. "It's a reset mechanism," Sung Park whispered, his xenoarchaeological implants working at maximum capacity, not just for our local space but potentially for entire dimensional structures. The artifact pulsed with a rhythm that felt almost alive. It wasn't destroying, it was reorganizing. Entire star systems outside the ship's viewports began to shift, realigning themselves with mathematical precision that was both terrifying and beautiful. Dae Kim's neural interface experienced something beyond human comprehension. He could see, no feel, the fundamental connections between consciousness, energy, and existence. The artifact was revealing the universe's deepest secrets, showing that reality was far more fluid than any civilization had ever imagined. Hyun Lee's navigation systems went completely offline. But she didn't panic. Instead, she understood that traditional navigation was meaningless in this moment of cosmic transformation. The ship was moving through realities, not just space. The crew experienced a collective consciousness that transcended individual perception. They were simultaneously observers and participants in a universal reconfiguration. Memories, potential futures, and alternate realities merged into a single, breathtaking moment of pure potential. Outside, the fabric of space transformed. Entire galactic structures reorganized. Civilizations that had existed for millions of years found themselves subtly shifted, their histories rewritten in ways they couldn't comprehend. The Valoran collective's entire existence was reduced to a footnote in a much larger cosmic narrative. "We're being chosen," Captain Park realized. The artifact wasn't just selecting a species, it was fundamentally transforming humanity's role in the universal ecosystem. Quantum energy waves expanded from the celestial horizon. Each wave carried the essence of human potential, creativity, adaptability, unexpected innovation. The universe was receiving a fundamental upgrade, with humanity as its primary architects. Sung's scientific mind struggled to process the transformation. The artifact was more than a technology. It was a living interface between consciousness and universal structure. Humanity wasn't just being given a tool, they were being given responsibility. Yuna's systems began recording everything. Complex A. Data streams captured the moment of transformation, creating a record that would become the most important scientific document in galactic history. Every millisecond was a revelation, every quantum fluctuation a potential breakthrough. The ship's internal environment became a living canvas of possibility. Holographic representations of human achievements, potential futures, and cosmic connections manifested around them. The crew wasn't just observing, they were actively participating in a universal reconstruction. Dae experienced the artifact's true nature. It was an evolutionary trigger, a mechanism designed to identify and elevate species with the potential to understand the universe's deeper mysteries. Humanity wasn't just being selected, they were being transformed. As the transformation reached its peak, the celestial horizon became something more than a spacecraft. It was a beacon of human potential, a living demonstration of a species capable of understanding and participating in universal reconstruction. The Valoran warships were gone, the threat was neutralized, but something far more significant had happened. Humanity had been chosen. The universe would never be the same. End of Part 5.